My name is Kilian. I'm the son of the ancient soil of Iraq, formerly known as Mesopotamia. As many of you might know, I was born and raised during the war times, specifically during the Iranian Iraqi war that lasted for 8 years. Unfortunately, it's not the Iranian nor the Iraqi people supported this war, but it's the two regimes that were fighting each other over disputed lands that ended up no one winning, just tons and tons and thousands of deaths and thousands of orphans and a mass destructions that impacted Iraq and Iran until today. After I was born, I think I was 6 months old before my dad was able to see me the first time. He was drafted to the Iraqi military to join the war. FYI, my dad is an artist. He's a painter. He's the most sensitive, most sincere person you ever meet. But he didn't have a choice. Draft was mandatory for all males over 18. So they knew that he was not a soldier. Really couldn't train him to use weapons or other things. So they put him on administrative duties in the war zone. A few months after he saw me, he was drafted again to another war that Saddam Hussein invented, which he invaded the Kurdistan part of Iraq, which has their own semi-independent within Iraq. And after that, the infamous invasion of Kuwait, which unnecessarily the regime invaded its neighbor, which brought destruction to Iraq until today. So you can call me the son of wars. I wouldn't get offended because I did live the first 21 years of my life in wars before I moved to the United States as a refugee. I want to say many of you might think this is maybe abnormal or like it's so real or it's a fantasy or a fiction, but it is real. The world is much larger than the US and Europe. The world is much more complicated than our issues today in our life here. It is not as black and white as we think of it from a Western perspective. I'm not a fan of the theory of if I go back in time, I will change this and this. No, I think that was my destiny, and that was the reason why I am that person today. The human rights activist, the LGBT right activist, the immigrant right activist, the labor activist, that sweet face with the feistiness, with the aggressive approach towards more equality and equity for all. I think probably if I didn't go through the struggles that I faced in my first 21 years of my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I accepted my destiny in both in the past and the current and hopefully in the future. Because that's the only way to move forward in life and to be better and to be able to accomplish something that benefits humanity.